It's the Wilk Report. I'm Michael Wilk, coming to you from Cleveland, Ohio, with a double review of Cobra Kai Season 2, since I missed last week. Episodes 3 and 4, Fire and Ice, and The Moment of Truth, respectively. I'm going to skip the slideshow for this video, because there's just too many screen caps to go through. So I am going to go ahead and give the episode breakdown here. So I just kind of want to give you an idea of exactly what goes on here. So in Fire and Ice, we open up, Johnny is trying to use a Dell laptop he gets, and from a pawn shop, basically, and he's so computer illiterate, he was told he had to go get an apple, and says that the pawn shop owner sold him a lemon, but it's demonstrated pretty quickly that Johnny has never actually used a computer before, because he says, it's because I'm not a nerd. So, yeah, all right. So, he's having his fun and games using the laptop to look up, like, t-shirt contests and, 80s action movies. And then he comes across an ad on YouTube for Miyagi-do Dojo, where Daniel is advertising karate lessons for free. Now, obviously this is going to piss off Johnny, because, this is basically Daniel trying to deliberately undercut him. So he and Kreese see this, and they decide they're going to fight fire with fire. So Johnny tells Aisha to make a video ad that'll advertise Cobra Kai, and we see some, recording going on there. But in the meantime, a couple of teenagers arrive to join Miyagi-Do, but when Daniel decides to, start them off with the way he was learning, by having them do chores to do muscle memory, they decide, okay, this is a scam. You're just trying to get us to do your chores for free. And they leave to go join Cobra Kai. So Miguel, he's found the picture of Robbie on Johnny's refrigerator and realizes that he's Johnny's son. So he tells Hawk at the beach, and, they decide to confront Johnny with the news. He says, okay, yeah, he's my son, but, that's got nothing to do with the way I run my dojo. And, it's none of your business. But later he takes Miguel to eat hamburgers and fries at a place across the street from the hospital where Robbie was born. And basically he pours his heart out to Miguel, saying, look, my mother had just died. I was a mess emotionally. I was too scared to even go and attend the birth of my son. Instead, I came over here and got drunk. So, basically, he admits, that he failed his son on his very first day in the world, and he promises to Miguel that he's never going to fail Miguel. He's always going to be there and support him. Aisha texts Miguel that people want Cobra Kai to make a performance, and Johnny sees an opportunity and agrees. So, there's this big carnival at the All Valley Carnival where Daniel is trying to put on a show for both the auto dealership and to also attract people to the dojo. And so what ends up happening is that, they're about to do the ice block breaking trick when Cobra Kai storms in and basically puts on a better show. Johnny breaks, these blocks of cement that have been set on fire, as you can see from the title card here. So, and at that point, Daniel can only really look on and, be jealous, because that's, of course, and there's this really good line where Miguel says, Sensei, you did it. And Johnny's replying, no, we did it, because it was a team effort. And it's actually very well done as an episode, because we get some more development of Johnny Lawrence as a character by giving more backstory. He's, he cared about his mother, loved her a great deal. So when she died, that was pretty much it for him. He was an emotional basket case, and and he was also kind of too much of a coward to, even be there to see his son be born, which kind of foreshadowed, his later, his later divorce, because, he just was too afraid to be there. And he never knew his father, so he's got absentee father issues. So, so and the way it plays out, I mean, and the way that William Zabka, delivers his lines in that scene in the burger joint. I mean, it's just very emotionally powerful, and you can't help but sympathize with the guy. I mean, this is this is how you write good television, people. STD, Batwoman, take notes, okay? This is how you do it. And of course, we get to episode 4, The Moment of Truth, where a guy named Demetri goes to Cobra Kai. He meets Kreese. He's annoyed. He annoys Kreese by insulting Cobra Kai and the tattoo. And so Kreese kind of punches Demetri in the nose, and he leaves a bit of a scratch, but it's no big deal. Then Johnny later on, he asks if anyone would like to challenge Miguel, and a girl named Tory volunteers, and this is where we get the first introduction of this character for real. Tory shows she's got some fighting skills, and that impresses Johnny and Kreese, and and it surprises Miguel because obviously she's shown up and pretty much out of nowhere at this point, but Miguel does gain the upper hand, and he extends his hand to help her up, and she flips him over. So she's kind of demonstrating the the Cobra Kai spirit here by never really stopping fighting. So Tory bonds with Aisha at a convenience store, and she took she divulges that she took some kickboxing lessons before. So she's not some Mary Sue. I mean, she's actually been built up as, okay, yeah, I've got some skills from kickboxing lessons. So she's not coming to this, as someone who has not thrown a kick or a punch before. She's actually got skills. And, and she also wanted to further develop by learning karate. And so, Aisha asks her if she wants to go to the beach with her, and, she agrees. Then Demetri tells Hawk what happened, but Hawk, blows it off and calls Demetri a coward. Now, Demetri's he's kind of the nerdy kid who's, kind of mooching off of Hawk's reputation in karate. Hawk is trying to get his former best friend to, join up, but, Demetri would rather, as he says in episode 3, he's enjoying having all of the gain with none of the pain because, he's got girls, throwing themselves at him because they're impressed with him hanging out with the cool people. So, but, Hawk is, he thinks his friend is a coward, and Miguel is really kind of disturbed by the darker turns that Hawk is taking, and he tries to warn Johnny about Kreese's influence, but Johnny reassures him, that everyone deserves a second chance, and he's trying it. Kreese is, he's a real snake in the grass, like the ad in episode 3 says, and he's very manipulative, and he shows what he wants to whom he wants, and this is how he manages to throw a wrench into everyone's efforts at reconciliation. So, Daniel tries to convince other people to join Miyagi-do, but, he's not having a good time because, part of it is his marketing abilities as a karate instructor. I mean, he's a great car salesman, but when it comes to teaching karate, he's not Mr. Miyagi. Even though his wife told him in episode 2, look, don't try to be Mr. Miyagi, be Mr. LaRusso. So, the same methods that were taught to him to get him to learn karate, they worked for him because, he was actually the only student that Mr. Miyagi had at the time. So Miyagi taught him in the way that he felt Daniel would best learn. But that's not necessarily how you teach an entire karate dojo. And so he's really kind of finding himself out of his element. And again, this is, great character building because, it shows Daniel, for all the success he's had in life, but he is suffering a crisis of confidence here in his ability to be a good teacher. And we're seeing that, whereas Daniel had a good teacher in Mr. Miyagi, but he's, not as good a teacher as he would like to be. Whereas with Johnny Lawrence, he had a rotten teacher, but because of those experiences and having grown during season 1 and also through season 2, he's become a better teacher than his sensei was, and because he's had the benefit of experience. That was awful, and that taught him, don't repeat the mistakes of the past. Although he does to an extent, but he's trying. So, it's a really great turnaround and subversion of expectations, because you would expect Daniel would be the better teacher, but no, he's having a lot of trouble. It's not that he isn't trying, but he's not learning the right lessons. So, and it subverts expectations by really kind of making you switch your focal point, because in the films, Daniel was clearly meant to be the protagonist and the hero of the films, and Johnny in the original was, a villain. Although he wasn't, he wasn't actually a bad guy, but he was led down a wrong path. And Kreese was actually the villain. So, and Kreese, for his part, he's having a lot of fun by really kind of slowly and subtly taking over Cobra Kai again, under Johnny's nose. So, but Samantha and Aija get back and together and see each other again and bond and kind of renew their friendship a little bit. But Samantha notices Tory stealing some vodka and is convinced that she stole her mom's wallet. So Tory pushes Samantha down a food table and kind of humiliates her. Robbie tries to stage a fight with his former friends to convince people to join Miyagi-Do, but he takes a hit to the back of the head, which and Daniel has to come in and save him from that. Robbie records the fight, but Daniel asks him not to upload it because he thinks the students should join Miyagi-Do out of necessity, not because of some gimmick. And Demetri ultimately decides to join Miyagi-Do by the end of the episode. So, and it's really because he's put off by Kreese and Hawk's increasingly darker turn as a character. So, I mean, this is this is really how you do good drama, people. Good God, this is a show that really had no business being as good as it is, and yet it has kicked ass on so many levels in the writing, and it just keeps getting better. It's, the show, in season 1, it admittedly had a few bumpy parts in it where, it's trying to find itself, and now in season 2, it's really coming into its own, and I'm really looking forward to season 3, because it's already been renewed for a 3rd season, as you know from my last review of this show. So, but yeah, this is just awesome writing. I love this show. I would really like to see it on network television, because I think it deserves a much wider audience than YouTube Premium, formerly YouTube Red, I guess. But hey, if this is a kind of writing that I actually would pay for, because right now I'm doing a trial. 30-day trial and watching the shows. But, this is the kind of thing that I really do recommend you go pay for. And plus, it also will help you support your favorite YouTube channels by getting YouTube Premium, because apparently clicking on their videos and liking them helps boost their monetary. So, by all means, that's a double incentive to actually go ahead and get a YouTube Premium account, because not only do you get to watch awesome shows like Cobra Kai, but you also get to help out your favorite YouTube channels. But yeah, that's pretty much my review for these shows. What do you think? Do you like these episodes? Do you not like them? What weak spots, if any, do you see? I want to hear from you. If you like what you've heard and you want to hear more, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to receive notifications whenever we upload new content. And if you want to help support the channel, keep the lights on, help us bring you more content, head over to our Patreon or Subscribe page. We can't do this without you. Until next time, when I bemoan and swear a lot over the casting of Robert Pattinson, Captain Sparkleface, from Twilight as Batman. Until that video, This is Michael Wilk for the Wilk Report saying take care, good night, I'm out.